Hey folks, welcome back to Hopped Up Beer Review. Today we've got a special treat. We're going to go visit our friends at the Manhattan Project Beer Company and share their Plutonium-239. This one I've been excited about, so stick around.
Hey everybody, welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional and somewhat biased opinion about the beer we are drinking and reviewing. We're back to do that once again. We definitely appreciate you checking out this video. We are here to drink a beer today. Andy in the attic, Jay, I'm Ben. What beer are we drinking?
This is a cool one. I'm excited about it. It's one that Andy got for us called Plutonium-239. It's from the Manhattan Project Beer Company out of Dallas, Texas. So it's a coconut porter. It says that the toasted coconut comes out the more it breathes. So I really want to open mine and let it breathe.
Yeah,
Let's get this.
let it
Let's
breathe.
get this guy some air.
Go. Mine's open. All right.
Ben's is breathing.
It's definitely breathing.
We're a little fast. that one's for you, Don.
That's funny. I mean, I got a little bit of head on there, but nowhere near like Ben.
Yeah, I just popped it and poured it, and there you go.
Treated it like a nitro.
I did. It's a black can, it's kind of like a Guinness.
Yeah. Alpenstoff was the black can. Was that like a Guinness?
Oh, I got one right over there. I'll let you know.
Wow.
No, it's not. It's not like a Guinness. I can answer that right now.
I've got the last of my Advent beer calendar.
Seriously? You still got some of that left?
Yeah, I bought 3 of them, so yeah. On to this beer. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Have you had this one, Andy? I know you provided it.
I provided. I did not have. All right. Plutonium-239. As Jay said, it's a coconut porter. 6.2% ABV, 25 IBUs. They compare it to coconut Girl Scout cookies and coffee. Has notes of coconut, chocolate, and roasted malt.
What Girl Scout cookies are the coconut ones? I'm not a big Girl Scout cookie eater, so.
I don't remember
They've changed the names of some of their cookies through the years.
Yeah.
I used to call them Samoas, but I think they go by a different name. I'm not sure. But they're the rings they're kind of brownish, but then they got that chocolate, like a swirl or a pattern on them. But
so
I think they had
a hole in the middle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those had just a touch of coconut in them.
Yeah.
They're textured.
Do they have the flake coconut?
Flake, strip, diced.
Yeah, strip,
yeah.
Yeah. Julienne,
but they had that texture look to it.
Thanks.
Of course.
So I will get to talk about more of the beer name after we go over the brewery. Manhattan Project Beer Company. Dallas, Texas is where it's located. It's a microbrewery. It's also a coffee shop. Are y'all familiar, Jay, I imagine you are doing your line of work with the Manhattan Project. Ben?
I think a lot of people are based on
Okay.
the last year or two with the movie Oppenheimer that
Yeah.
have been released.
Race for the atomic to develop the atomic weapons.
Have you seen Band of Brothers yet, Andy? Just
What's that?
kind of
Is that like a
kind of
family
related,
show?
kind of related,
Sounds
but
like a
not.
sitcom, like a 90s ABC sitcom, like a comedy, yeah, situational comedy. Is that Band of Brothers? Is that what you're talking about?
Okay, go
Anyway, this brewery distributes across the Dallas-Fort Worth area, the DFW. It started with three founders who brewed beer as a hobby. Two of the founders were a couple, still are, I imagine. And they came together around the year 2010 to design a beer to meet certain specifications for the wedding of those two. So two of them with another friend, all kind of brewed. And they're like, okay, we got to brew this beer for our wedding.
We've heard
They had
that story
already,
before, right?
we've talked about couples, but I don't know specifically how they started to brew, trying to design a beer for a wedding, and then it turned into a brewery, because that's kind of how this started. They'd already been kind of brainstorming what a brewery would be like, about designing a brewery. But the beer that they designed for their wedding started as an American brown ale, but through the process turned out to be a Belgian dark. They called it Inception, being the first beer. During this 8-month process, they realized how well their unique skills sets functioned to not only to make this beer, but they said we could do a brewery. So they said, let's start the brewery. And they did. So they named the brewery Manhattan Project based on their creative, collaborative, and experimental and scientific approach for beer making. And they said it opened up to a whole bunch of different names, in essence, based on, the scientific research and project and
It's a little
physics
presumptuous, isn't it?
blows.
I mean,
I
I'm
don't
kind of
know. I'm
seeing
not a beer man.
I'm kind of seeing some correlation between how they started their brewery and how we started this show, right? I mean, we each had our own talents that we brought to
Oh,
what we
okay.
do
I was about
here,
to say,
and we
none of the three of
had
us were a couple.
had a,
So,
well, yeah, there was no
hey,
wedding.
nobody knows us.
Of course, you got to think about it that way, Andy. But
And none of
no,
us
hey,
homebrew.
that's not a correlation. It's
Okay.
it's a 1-to-1. Hey,
So it brings me back to Plutonium-239, which,
Yes, please enlighten us.
yeah, let's get away from Ben, who's just Mr. Tangential. So Plutonium-239, the name of the beer, is also the name of the isotope of plutonium that is used for nuclear weapons. And it is, along with another isotope, uranium-235,
Mhm.
for
Do they have a beer
weapons.
by that name?
I do not know. I didn't go that deep into it. They've got
wow.
multiple beers. So
Now that would be
bugger,
great. If you're
bugger
watching
off.
this Manhattan Project, you need a uranium-235, and when you mix them together, much like you would do a,
Yeah.
like a
Suicide?
black and tan, hey, man.
Yeah. So this isotope is also used in nuclear reactors. And one of the reasons that, if you've ever watched, did you ever watch the series Chernobyl?
Oh, it's
Riveting. It was
fantastic. Yeah.
very good.
Very good.
It's got a half-life of 24,110 years. So highly volatile, radioactive.
Much like the show.
Yeah. It will live in infamy. I'm going to stop right there
You
That was
good?
it, huh?
because that's all I know.
Oh,
Thank you
I'll
for
say
sharing that.
you just got tired of us interrupting you, but
Did
No,
you get
let's
to
do it. It's conversation.
visit this actual brewery while we were there?
I visited Total Wine
Ah,
and I
gotcha.
looked for stouts and porters based on our
I'll
need
have,
for the show.
next time I go to Dallas, or Ben, you go to Dallas, this would be a great one for you to visit.
yeah, I go to
Uh,
Dallas a few times a year for work,
yeah,
and you know, yeah,
you're out there. I mean, I might make it once a year, if that, and that's usually when I get stranded there because of American Airlines.
yeah, I go there for work purposes, for sure. But yeah, I don't make it to too many breweries, just the way it is.
It's just such a shame.
I know. All right, so none of us have had this one before.
Mm.
Appreciate you bringing it back from Dallas, Andy. Jay, what do you think?
Yeah. Um, I guess I should highlight the fact that I'm not the coffee guy. Um, and this beer or this brewery has a coffee shop inside of it. Obviously, in my opinion, they probably use some of their coffee in this brew. It comes through. Um, it talks about, the toasted coconut, which you get. The very first sip of I had of it, though, it it had a metallic flavor to it, but since it's kind of warmed over time, and maybe my taste buds are numb to it, but that's gone away, and it does have that toasted coconut, as it says on the can. Is it breathes more, the toasted coconut comes through. It's very rich, it's very full. um Me not being a coffee guy, it does have a little bit of that coffee-ish flavor. It's not overpowering, but it's there. um for me, it's probably going to be a 7. uh, I like the coconut. I'd like a little more of the cocoa in there, but not necessarily the coffee. So, but it's overall a good beer, and if you gave me another one, I'd sit here and drink it today. And I'd love to explore other beers that they have, and understand their methodology. As you say, Andy, they named themselves after the Manhattan Project because of the science behind things, and that's the the stuff I live, eat, and breathe daily. Um, so
Plutonium.
plutonium.
All right. I'll jump in there and go next. There's a richness scale on the can here. If you guys can see that, okay. And it also pairs well with nuts, chocolate, and steak, according to the can. Um, to me, I don't. I want to describe this the right way. I don't get a lot out of this one, for a porter. I mean, it seems a bit thin to me in that I don't really get the coconut. I don't really get the chocolate. I don't really get the coffee. I don't. It may just be me, but I mean, yeah, maybe it's a mixed flavor of all three, but I can't pick out any one flavor out of that at all. Um, so it comes off a bit thin for me. I like it. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't drink it if you gave it to me, but I'm just not pulling out the flavors that I'm expecting to pull out here. As a porter, I think it's fine. I think, again, I'm gonna if I had a 6 pack of this would be one I could drink, no problem. But it's not. I'm not getting a lot of the flavors that are advertised out of it myself. So for that reason, I'm going to give it probably a little bit lower score, personally. And I'm going to give it a 6. I mean, I think again, I'll drink it, but it kind of falls almost into like the light porter category for me, if you will. I'm not really getting what I would expect to get. And again, that may be me. I don't know.
To be fair,
think-
though, Ben, I mean, over the last few reviews we've had some stouts, and then we've had some porters that really should have been classified as other beers. So,
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
I don't get
I get
coconut.
you.
I don't get chocolate. I don't get coffee. I just get kind of a level taste. It's not a bad taste. I'm not saying it's not a beer I wouldn't drink, but it's just not. I'm
Yeah.
just not pulling out what is advertised there.
I want to ask you this. Did you drink any water between the last beer we drank and this beer?
I drink water all the time, constantly.
But did you have a sip of water in between at all?
No,
You didn't
I
cleanse
did
the
not.
palate.
No.
And I think that's your problem. You didn't cleanse the palate.
That's all right, Andy. I mean, as much as he's drinking out of this, he should still
I
be able to get it.
I am going to completely disagree with you, Ben, because I think, and I consider most porters to, as a standard, be a little thinner than some stouts.
Yeah.
And so it is light on the palate, but I think it brings some great flavor. It's not overly rich like some, excuse me, of the recent stouts we've had for a porter. That's what, 2/3 of the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what does that scale mean? I mean, this is
Correct.
just a scale on a can.
Right. Then we've had recently some brown ales that should have been a stout or a very rich porter.
Yep.
So I can taste a little bit of the coconut.
I can too. I mean,
I
get
can't
the
pick out
coconut.
as much coffee. Very mild, but definitely a little chocolatey goodness, a little roastedness. I think this is a fantastic porter. And I think, Ben, you're just wrong. Many of the times, but tonight I'm just going to say you're wrong.
I've been wrong once before.
Yeah.
The
start of the show. Yeah. That's like,
and
why
to
do we
be
ever start the
fair,
show?
I probably pick out coffee because I don't drink it. You know, that's
your coffee
that's
sensors
something
are going off.
We should say to everybody. I don't drink coffee. I've never drank it in my life. But when I do have things that have coffee flavor or coffee in them, I can detect it. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, Andy.
No, it's cool. I find this to be a fine porter, as fine enough to give it an 8.0.
Well, yeah.
Still think if they would add in the uranium-235.
Yes.
I can't get past that. I think too.
That was a great
Bomb.
idea. Do the black and tan type.
I mean, if they don't do that already, then hey,
they should.
Diggity bomb. There we go. Boom.
That's your big boy.
That's your big boy.
Just call it the H. Call it the H bomb.
Big boy.
You dropped a bomb on me. That's going to be a 7.0 for the Plutonium-239 from the Manhattan Project Beer Company out of Dallas, Texas. Guys, look, if you're watching this Manhattan Project, you've got to have uranium-235 with the Plutonium-239. It has to happen. So if you already have that and we're like, mentioning this too much, just let us know, because that's going to be the next thing we do. Definitely appreciate you checking out this video. If you've had this one, let us know what you think. We'd love to hear it down in the comments. If you haven't had it and you're interested in trying it, you can tell us that in the comments too, I guess. But be sure to like, subscribe, cheers, that notification bell. Check us out on all the social media links down below in the description. And come say hey in Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server. It's a chat room. We would love to hear what your thoughts are on the plutonium-239 with the uranium-235. I mean, again, we think that's, I think at least think that's
Ben is like, this is
big
a
winner.
gold idea.
Gold, you know, it's gold. So I don't know why that's not already out there. But anyway, come let us know what you think. Lastly, if you have any interest in any Hopped Up Beer Review merch, like Jay is showing off there between the shirt, koozie, and glass. You can get any of that. You can get a bottle opener. I've got a phone case. You can't get this unless you send me a message. You probably don't want this though. So maybe some stickers. I think we got some stickers out there too. Go check that out. And if you have any interest in that, I'm getting the just end it signal from Jay. So for Jay and Andy in the attic, I have been cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.